back to his own business, didn't tell anyone what he did, but something's now going to happen in 1962. That year, the Brookings Jaycees, a leadership organization, was looking for a way to boost tourism to their sleepy burg. One member had a bold idea. He suggested that they track down the Japanese bomber pilot and invite him to attend their annual memorial festival as a guest of honor. So they did. To their surprise, Nobuo accepted their invitation, and they weren't the only ones who were shocked. This was the first Nobuo's family had heard of what he had done in America. One U.S. newspaper published a petition condemning the idea. Those who signed it felt that any soldier saluted in Brookings should be American. Furthermore, it would be expensive to fly over Nobuo, Aiko, and Yoshi, now 26, who would act as translator. So the bomber would need a translator because he only spoke Japanese. Despite the pressure to cancel the visit, the Jaycees didn't give in. Welcoming Nobuo, they announced, would be a symbol of reconciliation not just between individuals, but between nations. Another newspaper printed a letter of a veteran who wrote, "He was doing a job, and we were doing a job." Other veterans, including the government of Oregon and President John F. Kennedy, also praised the invitation. The protesters began to open their minds. So do you see why they're doing this? Why they want to invite the bomber? They're trying to, make peace with him, right? Yet Nobuo was nervous. Initially, he had feared that the Americans were tricking him into coming so that they could put him on trial as a war criminal. He worried that they would insult him, egg him, beat him, but he knew he had to go, no matter what. It would be impolite to refuse, he said. Again, he brought his family sword. This time, however, it was not for luck. Over the years, Nobuo's war pride had shriveled into guilt. His brothers had been lost in battle. His country had suffered catastrophically when the United States dropped atomic bombs on the cities of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. And though his bombings hadn't hurt anyone, that had been the intention. If the people of Brookings accepted the apology he planned, he would gift the sword to the town. If they did not, he would use the sword to commit seppuku, a traditional Japanese suicide by a person overcome with shame. So this is either going to go really bad or really good.
How many pages until it's over?
I don't know, Cannon. We're just reading. So that's him. That's the bomber. A large group of people awaited his arrival at the airport. To his relief, they greeted him and his family not with anger, but with warmth. Gesturing to the jetliner he'd flown in, Nobuo said in good spirit, "A little larger than the plane in which I made my first trip." Nobuo shook the hand of a 6-year-old boy who said he wished to visit Japan. During the festival parade, an official introduced the Fujitas, who bowed 3 times to the applauding crowd. So, him and his family were met by very nice people. At a banquet in Nobuo's honor, Nobuo and Yoshi handed over the sword, which the library would display. "I never imagined I could be back in Japan alive with my flight over America," Nobuo said softly. "I never dreamed I could visit the United States ever again." Later, Nobuo met one of the men who had put out his fire. "You're one of the worst fire setters in the world," the man said. "If you're going to set another fire, do the same good job." So he's making jokes with him about how he wasn't very good about dropping bombs. A local pilot flew Nobuo over the wilderness he had bombed and let him take the controls for a short while. Before leaving America, Nobuo said that he would like to host the Brookings residents in Japan one day. So, now that they're on good terms, he wants the people of the city that he tried to bomb to come and visit him in Japan. That day came 23 years later. At Nobuo's expense, 3 Brookings High School students traveled to Japan. Accompanying them was the now-grown boy from the 1962 parade. For a week, Nobuo toured his guests around the country. Their goodbyes were awash with emotion. The war is finally over for me, Nobuo said. So what do you think he means by that? The war is finally over for me.
That he's done fighting.
So that, and now after all of this, he's gone back to Oregon and has made peace with those people, and he has now brought the people in Oregon to his hometown. So he's gotten rid of all of his guilt. He has made his peace with these people. So that's what he means by the war is finally over for me. The war might have ended a really long time ago, but he was still struggling with the emotions of it. Nobuo made 3 more trips back to Brookings. At a party in 1990, he was served a large submarine sandwich topped with a plain made with sliced pickles and a half-olive helmet. Nobuo did not speak English, but everyone understood his reaction. In 1992, one day ahead of the 50th anniversary of his first bombing, he planted a tree seedling at the bomb site. In 1995, a pilot again flew him over the forest and gave him a brief chance to fly the plane by himself. So it looks like everyone's getting along really well now. Nobuo donated thousands of dollars to the town, specifically so the library could buy children's books that celebrate other cultures. He wondered if World War II would have been different if his generation had grown up reading books like those. In 1997, Brookings got word that Nobuo was not well. Urgently, a town representative flew to Tokyo to tell Nobuo in person that Brookings had made him an honorary citizen, precisely 55 years after his second bombing. The next day, at 85 years old and at peace, Nobuo passed away. So there's that.
I wonder how he passed away. Old age. Huh?
He was just old. The following year, as Nobuo had requested, Yuriko sprinkled some of his ashes over the bomb site. A flutist played a solo combining the national anthems of Japan and America. At the time of his death, Nobuo was the only person who had bombed the United States mainland from a plane. He spent much of his life hoping no one would ever take that title from him. The end.